Rumors are going around that Kim Kardashian is in some serious financial trouble. And meanwhile, Kim's ex-husband, Kanye West, just reached a new deal with Adidas, which means Kanye once again proved he's one step ahead of everyone.
Let's put the value of the remaining Yeezy Adidas products at approximately $500 million. And now, according to reports from multiple outlets, Kanye has reached an agreement with Adidas that would see the company unload the remaining designs in the Yeezy collection.
Now, when it comes to Kim and her rumored debt, there's been a lot of speculation lately that the Kar-Jenners are making some shady money moves, and The Sun recently discovered that the family borrowed over $100 million in home loans despite claiming they're billionaires.
Specifically, Kim Kardashian has been a contributor to the $132 million debt. Recently, she revealed she took out a $48 million mortgage on the $70 million Malibu property she bought in September.
The Sun also reported that the Kardashians are still closely affiliated with the controversial business manager Lou Taylor, who was exposed for profiting millions from Britney Spears' conservatorship and who also reportedly tried to put Kanye under psychiatric hold.
Well, allegedly, they were trying to go to Wyoming to take him and put him away, 5150 him, like they did to Britney back in the day, and also put him under conservatorship as well. And apparently, allegedly, Lou Taylor had something to do with this.
So what is really going on here? Is Kim really in serious debt and going broke? And is that why Kanye always kept his money separate from hers? But before we get into that, I'm so excited to talk to you about this really cool brand that I'm working with called Scentbird. Scentbird is a monthly subscription service that has over 600 designer fragrances to choose from. Scentbird lets you choose a new designer fragrance for just $17 every month. And the fragrances come in this really cool vial that lasts up to 30 days. Talk about a steal. And you know what's the best part? You get to pick what fragrance you want to try every month. And if you're wondering what kind of brands they have, I'm talking Prada, Gucci, Tom Ford, Burberry, and so many more. And yes, they are all authentic because they partner with all the brands. And honestly, there are so many options to choose from that they have literally everything for everyone. And if you're confused as to which one to choose, there are so many filters that you can apply to get the perfume that suits you best. So make sure to use my code COVERED55 to get 55% off your first month at Scentbird and get your first designer fragrance for just a little over $7. Check the links in the description for more. Kim Kardashian's flop era continues as reports are starting to circulate that the reality star is facing some major financial issues. Kim and her family were recently exposed for taking out massive loans to build their property empire, and meanwhile, rumors also popped up that the Kardashians are involved in multiple money laundering schemes. And apparently Kanye West knew all about Kim's shady business dealings, and that's why he always kept his assets separate from Kim while they were married. To give you some context, Kim Kardashian and her family have faced accusations of money laundering and tax evasion for years. In fact, Kim was allegedly scamming people before she even became famous. Of course, the most famous example of this is the infamous lawsuit filed by Brandy Norwood's mom, Sonia, who accused Kim of stealing money from Brandy. Kim was working as Brandy's assistant at the time, and Sonia discovered that Kim was using Brandy's credit card to make unlawful purchases at Kardashian-owned stores, and she even allegedly passed on Brandy's credit card number to her siblings.
They basically spent over $120,000. If y'all know Mama Sonia, she was not having it. They took them to court and it was settled. I ain't never knew this story, but it does not surprise me. Y'all were stealing from a black woman before y'all were even famous.
And while Sonia accused Kim and her siblings of spending $120,000 of Brandy's money without permission, Brandy's brother Ray J recently claimed that Kim actually stole a lot more money from Brandy.
Soon as the world found out, well, not even the world, because Brandy didn't even say nothing, but as soon as y'all stole all that money from my sister and the court granted my sister to win, and y'all had to pay my sister back, what, $700,000, something like that. Y'all stole like $850,000 from my sister. This on my kids. Y'all got caught. Y'all was guilty. You had to pay my sister back.
But despite getting repeatedly caught trying to scam people, Kim continued with her shady money moves, and in 2009, she got acquainted with the controversial Malaysian businessman and fugitive Joe Low, who once gave Kim a trash bag full of cash after a night of partying in Las Vegas. According to a recent report by Bloomberg Weekly, the FBI questioned Kim in 2019 about her connection to Joe Low, and she admitted that she'd received large amounts of money from him, including $100,000 ahead of her wedding to Kris Humphries, plus an additional $305,000 in cash. Interestingly, right around the time the FBI questioned Kim about her connection to J.Lo, reports emerged that Kim and the Kardashians are connected to another controversial figure, Britney Spears' former business manager, Lou Taylor. Lou Taylor reportedly convinced Britney's dad, Jamie, to put Britney under conservatorship back in 2008, and according to Britney's lawyer, Matthew Rosengart, Lou profited $18 million over the course of Britney's conservatorship.
Paid for Jamie Spears and Lou Taylor to go to Israel on a vacation where he got baptized in the River Jordan. Britney footed the bill for that. What are we talking about here?
Jamie brought in TriStar Entertainment. Lou Taylor ran that. And Lou Taylor didn't really have a hold in entertainment until then. And Lou Taylor signed on with Britney as her business manager.
Now, when it comes to Kim's connections to Lou Taylor, according to documents obtained by Page Six, Taylor and her company were listed as a registered agent for Kim's company, KKW Fragrance, as well as Kylie Jenner's companies, King Kylie LLC and King Kylie Holdings. More recently, resurfaced documents from Kim and Kanye's divorce showed that Lou Taylor was listed as the trustee of Kim's trust fund, Noel Roberts Trust, which means Kim was still doing business with Taylor after Taylor got exposed for profiting from Britney's conservatorship. On top of that, one popular Britney fan account on Twitter, @BritneyHiatus, recently claimed that Kim and her family may have profited around $600 million from Britney's conservatorship. But hoarding money through shady business dealings wasn't enough for Kim and the Kardashians, so they also allegedly developed an elaborate tax evasion scheme. Back in 2009, Kris Jenner co-founded her own church called California Community Church, and there's been a lot of speculation in the media that the sole purpose of this so-called church is tax evasion. While Kris's church is registered as a nonprofit charity, members are apparently asked to pay $1,000 a month and give 10% of their income as donations to the church. Besides that, every time one of Kris's kids donates money to the church, not only do they get a tax write-off, but the money they donate stays in the family because the church is owned by their mom. Meanwhile, Kim and her family have also been accused of rewriting their finances and pretending they're much wealthier than they actually are. After all, we can't forget that Forbes magazine literally exposed Kylie Jenner for faking her billionaire status. In fact, Forbes alleged that Kris and Kylie had their accountant draft tax returns with false numbers to help juice Forbes' estimates of Kylie's earnings and net worth.
But as we started to ask more questions about these discrepancies and the outright lies in some years, the Jenners did something that is very out of character. They stopped answering our questions.
And now, on top of all this, we're also hearing that Kim and her family have been taking out massive loans to build property, and fans are speculating this is just another money laundering scheme. According to The Sun, Kim recently took out a $48 million mortgage on the $70 million Malibu property she bought in September. Kris, Kourtney, Kylie, and Kendall have also taken out huge loans, and property records obtained by The Sun show that the family collectively borrowed $132 million. But here's where things get even more interesting. As The Sun reports, most celebs want to keep their identity secret when taking out huge loans, so they usually appoint their business manager as the trustee. And while the Kardashians use famous financial guru Lester Nispel to manage most of their property loans, The Sun discovered that Kylie Jenner borrowed $7.5 million in April 2020 for a $36.5 million mansion in Holmby Hills, and this deal went through none other than Lou Taylor. So this means the Kardashians are still doing business with the woman who put Britney under conservatorship and profited millions off of Britney's suffering. What's even more messed up is that Kim allegedly tried to use her connections with Lou Taylor to put Kanye under conservatorship. As you probably remember, back in the summer of 2020, Kanye famously fled to his Wyoming ranch and tweeted that Kim and Kris tried to fly in with doctors and lock him up.
That wasn't a Christian and told me come over. And then 30 minutes later, I was in handcuffs headed to the hospital. Now, this person very well may have saved my life, because when you're in an episode, you can jump off the side of a balcony, you can stab your eye out.
Your presence of mind is not.
And this is pretty much what happened to Britney back in 2008 when her dad and her ex-husband Kevin Federline reportedly conspired with Lou Taylor to put Britney under conservatorship and take away her kids.
TMZ.com is reporting that Britney was taken out of her home on a gurney by paramedics and that she is now being taken to a local hospital on what's being called a medical hold, essentially a mental evaluation.
But luckily for Kanye, he managed to escape Britney's fate. And the reason why Kanye was able to escape the Kardashians' clutches is most likely because he was smart enough to keep his money separate from Kim. All the way back in 2016, a source close to Kanye told people that Kim and Kanye keep their accounts basically separate and that Kanye always talks about my money and her money. Keep in mind that this was long before the divorce was even on the table, which means Kanye obviously knew something about Kim's shady business moves and wanted to protect himself and his assets. And clearly, Kanye was smart to do this because reports are now starting to circulate that Kim and the Kardashians are facing financial troubles. Meanwhile, Kanye just proved once again that all those companies that were so quick to cut ties with him when he spoke out against the dark side of the industry need him more than he needs them. Kanye recently reached a new lucrative deal with Adidas, despite Adidas previously claiming they would never work with Kanye again, and Kanye is reportedly set to regain his billionaire status very soon. Fans are now saying that Kanye was smart to escape from Kim and her family, and they're also calling for authorities to investigate the Kardashians' shady business dealings. One fan said, "Smart that he kept his money separate because something is fishy with this family." And another fan added, "By the end of the year, the Kardashians will be viewed in utter disgust, and they will be broke. Everything Ye says is true and far more." But let's hear your thoughts on this. Is there any chance the Kardashians will actually be investigated for all these rumored money schemes? Comment down below and don't forget to use code COVERED55 to get 55% off your first month at Scentbird and get your first designer fragrance. Check the links in the description and the pinned comment for more information.